Ferol Cosper was born on the 21st of October in 1916 in Excelsior, Georgia. She was the aunt of State Senator Ford Belmont Spinks Sr., a founder of the GMA.
Well, Susan's father started he started the whole thing. He was a state senator, and he was the one that started it. So then he told all of us that he wanted a place that would show what the progress had been made in 100 years.
She just embodies the agorama. She grew up and knew all of the things that the agorama shows, you know, to the people that come out there. She grew up in the era that was the way of life, and she's proud of that.
Agorama was depicted from the 1870s to 1910. She could tell more about everything there, all this old stuff, because she lived through it more than I did. She's 101 today. So some of the stuff they're depicting in 1910, the 1910 kept going in real life until, you know, when the Depression hit in the 20s and the 30s, you know, hard times were back then, and it was just a lot different then than it is now.
There wasn't any radios or TVs or anything when, you know, 100 years ago. And look what there is now. The phones, little phones. Nobody had a phone. You know how we communicated? Going from house to house, visiting. And nobody does that now. That's out of style.
She was there every day, and a lot of the people that worked out there were volunteers who, you know, they didn't get paid. They were volunteers who just did it because they lived it, and they wanted to preserve it as well and show it to the school children so they could know that there was a different, you know, the big tractors we have now, that's not where we came from.
Well, one time I was milking a cow out there, and of course she was given a big old bucket of milk. And so this college boy came out there. They was going to let him milk the cow. And he came back and he said, I couldn't get any milk. And I said, how was you holding her tit? He said, like that. And so then when I told him how to do it, well, he went back and came back with a bucket full of milk.
She was working mainly at the schoolhouse or in a house or in the print shop, wherever she was needed, because she knew it all. She'd been there so long, you know, she knew what to do in each place.
I did a little bit of all of it. I worked at the houses. You know, when we first opened, I worked at the houses down there where they had the workshop. And then I worked at the museum. And, you know, when I got a little older, they put me in the museum because it was a little bit nicer and cooler. And they started moving the buildings in as people donated. And when they moved that Tift house, I said, they just well to burn that. It was a shack.
She loved it, and she worked there for 40 years, and even up until recently, she was still driving to work back and forth, and but she just loved the place, and because she had lived a lot of it, you know, she knew what she was talking about, and she was a great guide.
Well, as you know, Aunt Ferol, up until the last couple of months, she's worked at the Agorama full time since it opened. She manned the schoolhouse for a long time, and then, you know, later on as she got older, they moved her into the museum building.
What is your favorite part of the Agorama?
The museum.
So the museum.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's teaching children what went on 100 years ago and let them see the different lifestyle that was lived. Everybody needs to know the past. It's all different. Nothing is the same. Like when we had to get in the field and pick cotton, these children don't know anything about picking cotton. They don't know a thing about cotton. And everybody at that time had a hoe. Some of them didn't even know what a hoe looked like. It has the instruments, all kind of stuff in there that you explain it to the children. It has the planter where you planted the corn or the cotton and stuff. And it has the gin. And it just has everything's taken care of right there in the museum. All the instruments are there. And find a wood-burning stove, and they would search everywhere, and they'd point at a kerosene stove. Didn't even know what a wood-burning stove looked like. Well, the workshop, it's teaching children what went on 100 years ago. It's changed a lot. It's informative to anybody, you know, that is interested in the rural life.
I've just known her all my life, you know. She's in the family, you know, she's my great aunt. You know, we have a close family, and she can tell some stories.
Yeah, the cow got after me, and I was running, and I had on my long dress, you know, and I was running and jumping over everything to get away from him, and the man was after him, and he was hollering, and I was yelling, and we was screaming at each other.
Oh my goodness.
But I got away from him. And we didn't have any warm showers like y'all have. If you had warm water, you heated it on the stove and carried it in there by bucketfuls. No warm water.
I'm spoiled. I like my hot showers.
I know. It feels so good in the morning. Everything's improving. Helps the whole community. Anything that you improve on. But anyway, I'm glad of the progress that's been made. And now they can, it's so amazing that they can find out anything they want to know now. Well, they're smarter, much smarter than they were then. They know everything today, and we didn't know anything. And these kids know it all. Sure, this is the right way to go. God planned it this way.
She's disappointed that she's not there now. She talked about that grandma all the time. That was her life. I mean, for 40 years, you know, that was what she did. She loved it. She loved it as much as my daddy did. If she got off work and had to do something, she would go dressed in her costume, and, you know, she was proud of it, never wanted to miss a day. Everybody loves her. You know, she's just laughs all the time, tells great stories, and she knows where she came from.